Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window, and I'll tell you what, we were hard-pressed to find any clear shots from this afternoon. It was such low-hanging clouds out there today and some fog that we did find this shot, our favorite shot from Wenatchee Heights. That's our cross camera looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, and there were a lot of those low-hanging clouds all day and some shower activity. We'll talk more about that coming up, but as we look ahead in our 7-day forecast, a good chance for rain tomorrow, so look for rain to develop tonight into tomorrow, and then we have a little bit of a dry period Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before more rain comes back into the picture on Sunday, Monday, with temperatures holding steady pretty much in the middle 40s. You'll have your complete weather forecast coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Brewster police are investigating 2 church fires early Sunday morning, with one already determined to be arson. The driver, suspected in a crash that killed a teenage passenger on Saturday in Bridgeport, is now formally charged in her death. And the Chelan Douglas Health District is scheduled free drive-through COVID-19 testing this week in Wenatchee and in Kashmir. But first we begin tonight. Wenatchee police are searching for a driver who hit a 57-year-old woman while she was crossing 5th Street at Emerson Avenue in Wenatchee about 5 p.m. yesterday. The woman was transported to Central Washington Hospital with an apparent broken ankle and other injuries. Wenatchee Police Sergeant Tim Lykin said the vehicle fled after hitting the woman who was in the crosswalk on the east side of the street. The victim's son said on Facebook that in addition to a broken ankle, his mother suffered fractures in her back and a broken rib. Lykin said police would be releasing information later on that suspected vehicle. Brewster police are investigating 2 church fires early Sunday morning, with one already determined to be arson. Police Chief Marcos Ruiz was releasing little information, but said investigators they believe a fire at Sacred Heart Catholic Church about 2 or 3 Sunday morning was intentionally set. Reverend Pedro Bautista Peraza said damage to the Catholic Church was minimal after someone broke a window and then dropped some sort of fire device inside. He said only the window, a piece of carpet, and a chair were damaged. The damage was far more extensive, though, across the street at New Testament Baptist Church. New Testament pastor Corey Higdon told parishioners Sunday the church would find a way to carry on.
You see, we are in a different setting, as many of you have already heard, regarding, how shall I label it? I hate to use the word catastrophe, but that's all that comes to mind. However, what seems catastrophic up front can be a blessing in disguise. And Lord allowed this to happen. But many of you have heard. For those that have not heard that are viewing in live stream, I received a call from our church secretary, Tessa, about, I guess we're somewhere between 4:30 and 5 this morning, saying, Pastor, break it to you gently, but the church building caught on fire. And so I was able to go up and look a little bit, even though it's still dark, and it's certainly extensive damage. We don't know what caused it. There's speculation, but they have not reached any verdict, if you will, regarding the cause of it. However, that is in a sense a little bit irrelevant, only for the fact that whoever caused it ain't going to put it back together again. And so we're just going to have to take it one step at a time. Church family, I ask that you would be in prayer. To my knowledge, Brother Larry, our church treasurer, is already ahead of me. I've made plans to contact the insurance agent tomorrow, and he's already, I guess, had contacted them, and that's great to get the ball rolling with that. I like that. And we'll just take it one step at a time, and trusting the Lord for wisdom as we tackle this need to proceed on what we can do to get a facility.
The driver, suspected in a crash that killed a teenage passenger Saturday in Bridgeport, is now formally charged in her death. Douglas County prosecutors charged 35-year-old Christopher Joe Williams with vehicular homicide and driving without a license after the wreck that killed 17-year-old Tessa L. Johnson. Sheriff's deputies say Williams crashed a 2011 Honda Accord just after 6 p.m. Saturday. It all happened in the 300 block of 17th Street. Johnson was later pronounced dead at Three Rivers Hospital in Brewster. Williams remains held in the Okanagan County Jail on a $500,000 bond. Well, the Chelan-Douglas Health District has scheduled free drive-through COVID-19 testing this week in both Wenatchee and Cashmere. Testing is scheduled for Thursday and Friday at Cashmere High School. The health district said though farm workers are specifically targeted, the general community also can participate. Then on Saturday and Sunday, the health district will hold drive-through testing at Wenatchee High School parking lot for students returning home for the Thanksgiving holiday. That testing will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days. That testing is also open to the general public. Coming up next, in a bit of good news against the second pandemic shutdown, NCW libraries are keeping their doors open. He can't meet you in person, but 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins still wants to hear from you. We'll tell you how. And the North Cascades Highway shut down Friday due to heavy snow. And yesterday, the State Transportation Department said that it's for the winter. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hi, Stephen DeVilbiss here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. We are an equal opportunity employer and we do not discriminate in employment or services. It is our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. We are currently seeking professional caregivers who share our mission to help our clients live safely and comfortably at home. Call Beneficial and Home Care. Schedule your interview today. 509-663-7900.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Welcome back. In another news and a bit of good news amidst the second pandemic shutdown, NCW libraries are keeping their doors open. Library directors say all branch locations in all 5 counties will continue to admit the public with mask requirements and social distancing. However, with people encouraged to stay home to prevent COVID-19, online reservations and curbside pickup of library materials are still recommended. The Bookmobile program will also continue to visit local schools and community centers. Well, he can't meet you in person, but 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins still wants to hear from you. The senator's 4th annual listening tour of the district will take place virtually December 10th by phone or through Zoom video conferencing. Participants can expect an overview of the upcoming 2021 legislative session and a Q&A. Individuals or groups interested in meeting with Hawkins should contact his office to schedule their virtual appointment. In other news, the North Cascades Highway shut down Friday due to heavy snow, and yesterday the State Transportation Department said that it's for the winter. That pass on State Route 20 shuts down every year as snow closes in. This year's closure is earlier than last year's December 11th date. The route is now impassable between milepost 134 at the Ross Dam Trailhead and milepost 178 at the Early Winners Campground. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Well, as we all know, the surge of COVID-19 is definitely being felt in the Wenatchee Valley. In Monday's meeting of the Chelan Douglas Board of Health, Chief Health Officer Dr. Malcolm Butler said 5 more local deaths are being investigated as possible coronavirus mortalities. What's more, 14% of all COVID-19 cases seen in the valley since the pandemic began have been detected in just the last 2 weeks. In tonight's feature story, here's what Butler had to say.
Our hospitals are filling and we have tenuous overflow capacity. Most transmission continues to be inside of our homes. Despite this high incidence, we still appear to be safer at work or at school where mitigation is enforced. Bottom right, you can see in red, we are now up to 528 per 100,000 per 14 days. And again, that 637 that happened in the last 2 weeks is 14% of the 4,493 over here. I think this graph kind of tells it all where we are. You can see in August, we were on a down slope until about October when things bottomed out. We sort of started going up slowly and then kaboom. If any of you saw the rocket launch last night, sort of looking the same. This is a nice new demonstration also of the percent of COVID cases by ethnicity. What you can see on the far left of the graph is March at the beginning of the pandemic. Far right is last Tuesday, I believe. Light blue is Hispanic, dark blue is non-Hispanic. And you can see that whereas we were sort of 80% Hispanic through the bulk of the pandemic, over the last month, we've come down to 50%. That is still disproportionately high. Hispanics in our communities are about 31%. And so to be at 50% is disproportionate, but it is a dramatic improvement. And we do now have 2 reported school outbreaks. Both cohorts were sent home to quarantine and remote learning. And so just to remind everybody, we do have safeguards in place that if 1 or 2 people in a cohort test positive, the entire cohort is sent home to remote learning to keep everybody else in that building safe. I included the definition of an outbreak there.
Okay, let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast as we make our way through this work week. But first, outdoors we go from this afternoon, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley from our Sky-Fi tower camera up on Wenatchee Heights. We call it the cross camera, and things cleared up as we made our way through the afternoon as far as low-hanging clouds anyway, but there was still plenty out there with just a little bit of sun shining on the Cascades this afternoon. But all in all, it was a cloudy day, but fairly mild, almost exactly where we should be for this time of year. In fact, high temperatures just a few degrees above, 46 unofficially, 43 is our normal high. We started off at 36, and that's 5 degrees above where we should be at 31. 58 our record high, and that was in 2015. Record low, 14 degrees back in 1959. Today's precipitation, this is last night. It's pretty good rain yesterday, wasn't it? We picked up almost 0.3 of an inch, 29 hundredths, and that now gets us to 5.28 inches. Boy, what a comeback we made towards the end of this year as far as precipitation goes. Sunrise, 7:09 this morning, and it's set this afternoon at 4:22. Let's take a look at what we can expect as we get into our hump day Wednesday. Tomorrow, another wet one. It probably will be our last one for about a couple of days, but yeah, we do have a 50% chance for afternoon showers. Temperature-wise, though, not bad. 51 for Moses Lake, 50 Ephrata, and about the same here in Wenatchee at 46 degrees, 45 in Eniat, and 45 as well for you folks up in Omak. Tonight, we can expect mostly cloudy skies. We'll still see some of those showers lingering tonight, about a 30% chance of it. Winds did pick up this afternoon as well. Those should die down tonight. And here's most of the moisture right here in western Washington, where it has been pouring throughout the day today. Not much is going to change in the western part of the state either. Wednesday, will see cloudy skies, about a 50% chance of rain. We just talked about that. And here it is right here. Not a lot of heavy rain, but just enough to keep us wet for Wednesday. For Thursday then, an improving weather forecast with decreasing clouds. Temperatures will be near normal. Still some scattered showers in the west and maybe around Spokane, but temperatures, as I mentioned, right around that 45-degree mark. For Friday, that will be our sunniest day. A great way to end the week with mostly sunny skies. Cloudiness moving in the afternoon, but temperature-wise will pretty much hold steady in that maybe upper 40s range for Friday. Kicking off our weekend, we'll start off with partly cloudy skies, increasing clouds by afternoon. Normal temperatures, though, for Saturday before this next frontal system moves in, and it will slide into the state as we get into Sunday with mostly cloudy skies, mainly late showers for Sunday, a 20% chance of it. You can see all the clouds, though, in the state, and there's our little chance for showers late in the day. But this thing is picking up a little bit of steam, so as we get into Monday, it will pull up to the north and then drag some Pacific moisture our way, and that'll give us a 40% chance of rain for Monday. But once again, temperatures will hold steady near normal. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast, and we will see 35 for an overnight low tonight, 50% chance of rain, and 46 tomorrow. And then our dry weather period, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. High temperatures generally in the mid-40s, and then things get a little wet again as we get into Sunday and Monday, especially Monday. Cloudy skies, a 40% chance of rain with highs then of 47 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Here's to 5 billion miles of amazing. 5 billion miles of...
This is so cool.
5 billion miles of helping you stay safe. 5 billion miles of passing the pump. 5 billion miles of... That's 5 billion miles driven around the world. The all-electric 2020 Nissan Leaf.
The extended range 2020 Leaf is now available at Town Nissan, right behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community. And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. Well, the Seahawks don't have much time to dwell on Sunday's 23-17 loss to the Rams. It's a quick turnaround week to prepare for Arizona on Thursday night. In Monday's press conference, Coach Pete Carroll says after watching Sunday's film, he realizes just how many chances Seattle had in that game.
Had a chance to, in what wound up being a close football game, so many chances as always, and even with the plays that we were disappointed with, the opportunity was there, and we need to find our way. This was a game they did a good job of holding us down offensively. We didn't click like we want to, and we thought we could throw the ball like we had been, and weren't able to in this game. And so it turns out being a loss on the road that we really needed. So we're going to have to work our way back. I know that we're all tied right now, and so that just makes the point of every game being a championship game, more clear.
Seattle has lost 2 games in a row, and during which Russell Wilson has committed 7 turnovers. Carroll has denied that his quarterback might be pressing because of a lack of a running game and defensive weaknesses, but on Monday he said he found one example of Russ trying to do too much.
I think that we made some mistakes in this game that just don't look normal for us, there's the one play that jumps out at us is the interception when he could have taken off and run, and he saw something downfield and took a shot at it. That's an indication, that he could have taken what's in front of him. Russ and I both talked about, how you follow your instincts. If the first opportunity, let's go take advantage of it and go to the next play, and that's an illustration of one play that was like that.
Tacoma News-Tribune reporter Greg Bell had a good exchange with Coach Carroll on how Wilson and the Seahawks offense have changed without having Chris Carson in the backfield.
I can feel it, I just think it's been a little bit different. And we got to make sure that we, like I've been saying here, we got to make sure that we stay balanced. We got to keep our game together.
Even when he was succeeding throwing it all over the place, at least he had Carson back there as a threat. This isn't how you want to play offense. How important is it to get at least Hyde or Carson back to play the way you really want to play?
It's important to us. It really is. And if they're not able to, then we have to develop the other guys. We've got to make sure that we're going to it. And it's just part of the way we play. And it's felt a little bit different. And I'd like to get us back to, like I said, back to the kind of balanced approach that we've always had.
Is it possible in a division race to develop those guys, or
we don't have any choice. We don't have any choice. That's all we got. I expect one of those guys. I think Carlos is going to make it for this week, and we'll see about Chris. That'll help us out. But in the meantime, I thought that we got really good play out of Alex. I thought he looked good. We can use him more and find more ways to make sure that he's a factor.
Seattle hopes to have its running game intact in time for Thursday night's matchup with Arizona. Cardinals won the first meeting between the two teams in overtime in the desert. Kickoff Thursday night is at 5:20 on Fox and the NFL Network. Well, Jimmy Lake has had a couple days to break down Washington's win over Oregon State Saturday and its season opener. He met with the media via Zoom Monday morning and said he was very pleased with his team's energy.
Extremely proud of the way our team came out Saturday night. We played with a lot of energy, a lot of juice, and we played a physical game, which we want to be about. I'm extremely pleased with the way we handle adversity. My favorite sequence of the game was our special teams mistake that turned into a touchdown, and then we responded the very next series with our offense marching down and scoring a touchdown and tying the game up 7-7. That was my favorite moment of the whole game. Showed what our team's been about in 2020, just responding to every setback that's been put in front of us.
Washington scheduled to host Arizona Saturday at Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium. Kickoff set for 5 o'clock between the 0-1 Wildcats and the 1-0 Huskies. Washington State coach Nick Rolovich says his club was still feeling the sting of losing to Oregon Saturday as they began preparation for Stanford this week. He says it took he and his coaching staff to get them back on track.
They were hurt. I think they were upset, missed opportunities, and had to flush it, this morning and move on to Stanford, because Stanford is a whole nother animal.
How do you think they've done flushing it?
In the morning, I think when I first addressed them, I think it was still a lot of those emotions were still there. I think this team, everything they've been through, which a lot, with the lack of availability, really of exposure for really you guys, and what this team's been through. You guys haven't had to see a whole lot of it or gotten to see a whole lot of it, but I think they felt like they were the team of destiny a little bit, to be honest with you, and didn't turn out that way versus Oregon. And I think a little bit of that, was a little shocking to them, but I thought they flushed it really well this afternoon.
Cougs will be on the road at Palo Alto, California this Saturday to face 0-2 Cardinal. Kickoff set for 8 o'clock at Stanford Stadium on FS1. Well, the schedule continues to flex a little bit here on the NCWLIFE channel this week. We're scheduled to host a live press conference with the Chelan Douglas Health District and local elected officials Thursday at 6 o'clock. Then hockey night will commence with Wenatchee and Powell River in a game from last December 21st. Friday night features some culture as Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra's second concert will air here on the NCWLIFE channel at 7 o'clock. Then we're back to sports on Saturday. Big Nine Wrestling between Moses Lake and Wenatchee from last January at 2 o'clock. At 6, a rebroadcast of the final race of the season, Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, as we bring you the Neil Newberry 125 presented by Pepsi. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Tomorrow, November 18th, is Mickey Mouse's birthday. That's right. The iconic cartoon character turns 92 years old on Wednesday. And in honor of Mickey Mouse's birthday, we're going to ask the question that has been plaguing historians for years. Why is it that Mickey Mouse wears a bottom and no top, and Donald Duck wears a top but no bottom? These are the kind of questions that we ask on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Plus everything else you need to know to start your Wednesday live and local at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.
I'm Jenny Kerstetter, and you are watching the NCWLIFE channel.